Hey, how you folks doing? Greetings from still Vermont. Now back in some very calcareous woodland. Would have posted up a last video in the blueberry barren, which is an acidic habitat, unusual for the area. And now here we're in a beautiful forest underneath sugar maples, what appear to be hickory, maybe some white oak, tons of Tilia americana. Cool dogwoods too. We'll get into it. We'll see if we have time. I'm actually supposed to be going up to a ledge somewhere around here with some friends who are going to show me an interesting Carex. But I figured to get you, ready and prepped for the Carex, for the Sedge, I should start with a cool orchid. This is Cypripedium parviflorum. It's pissing. I'm sorry. Cypripedium parviflorum, one of the lady slippers. I actually got this on video, but here is a little bit less of a sensitive area, and I got a little bit more time to talk about it. Cypripedium parviflorum. This is variety pubescens. This is the most common variety you would see. So I'll, kind of explain this, because if you want to go see some anatomy, go look at the other video. I got to catch up to my group, but I have a minute. So Cypripedium parviflorum var pubescens is this one. Cypripedium parviflorum var macacin has darker sepals, and they're not pubescent, different smell. And then Cypripedium parviflorum variety parviflorum is the weird one out that actually prefers slightly acidic soil. That is the one that is, probably formerly known from a lot of places in eastern New England, but largely extirpated from that environment. So we'll cover this guy real quick. Cypripedium, I talked about it literally yesterday. Bring this flower over here, but this one's in good shape. You see that yellow staminode, different than variety macacin, yellowish, twirly petals on the side here. Here's your dorsal sepal, fused lateral sepals, trademark pouched labellum, and should I lift up, or at least move to side, that staminode, one would make note of the two anthers unique to Cypripedium. Nice bract subtending the ovary, and the entire guy in general. Super leafy, unlike Cypripedium McCall, the pink lady slipper. Just got the two basal leaves down there, and there's one vegetative. Beautiful plant. Happy we got to see it. I was expecting to maybe run into it today, but nice to actually get a little bit more of a lighthearted, silly video about it. Take it easy. Well, we're gonna spend some time here today. That's a nice sign. I always love seeing this guy, Tiarella stolonifera, in the family Saxifragiaceae. Beautiful flowers on the thing. Forms extensive colonies through stolons, which are little underground running roots, which is how it gets its name. Gotta get up in there for the flowers. There you go. Very nice. We were seeing Saxifragia. We saw a Saxifragia, actual species of saxifrage yesterday, but the habitat is far too sketchy for me to really take a video, and it's a sensitive habitat. This guy, on the other hand, you can expect to see in most rich deciduous woodlands. I'm gonna carry on. Get a nice little idea of the habitat we're working with here. Beautiful Taconic region of Vermont, not in the Green Mountains anymore. Common source of confusion. Also, Greylock, not in the Berkshires, in the Taconics. I don't care about the socio-political, definition of the region. I care about the actual geologic definition of the region. Beautiful Taconic Mountain overlook. A little further across the ledge here, come across a beautiful little patch of Pedicularis, canadensis, Canadian lousewort, the family Orobanchaceae. And for those of you following along at home, you'll know that number one, love that family. Number two, typically parasitic, although as you can see, this guy, it's got nice brushy green leaves. Those leaves, by the way, give Arialaria at least one of them its species epithet of Pedicularis, because they got very distinctive, almost fern-like, almost yarrow-looking leaves, but they're not nearly as hairy as yarrow. Trademark bilaterally symmetrical flowers on the thing. Going to see that quite consistently in the family Orobanchaceae. That's not all we have. We also had back up here a very nice spring blooming member of the family Asteraceae in the tribe Senecionii, a Packera obovata. Also with nice, heavily divided leaves. Look at the basal leaves. Got to do this with Packera. Basal leaves, colline leaves, and then honestly, you kind of get away with not looking at the phyllaries on Packera because they're all kind of similar. Typically uniseriate. Anyway, that's what we had over here. I've seen that plant before, the lousewort, but usually growing in like a flat field, not on like a ledge like that. Wonder what it's parasitizing. And dangling now off of a sketchy cliff face, almost quite literally. It's not that bad. Something would catch your fall. You got a nice little tiny diminutive spleenwort, Asplenium ruta-muraria, the new growth from this year. Covered this in an episode a few hours back, but this is more typical the habitat it employs. Common as a weed over there in Europe, but it's highly suspected that there's a number of cryptic species and undescribed or underdescribed subspecies, you know, associated with it. Look, coming out of the moss mat there. Real cool Asplenium. Again, if you're in Europe, this is growing out of your brick walls, but here in North America, it is quite rare and it is an obligate calciphile. And indeed, a lot of the rock that we're dealing with around here is limestone and even marble. Where'd he go? There he is. Asplenium ruta-muraria. Really cool plant. But I'm going to get off this sketchy ass cliff face and go rejoin the rest of the group. Nice NEcology canadensis, which you can see pretty much anywhere. But you know, also loves its fair share of sketchy habitats. A nice marble ledge. The habitat here, seriously incredible. There's your Tilia americana, your basswood, if you would, and a nice little outcrop. We're gonna peruse around the edge of this, see if we can find any more interesting ferns growing off the base of it. I'm gonna go up on the top. This guy, when we saw Asplenium ruta-muraria as well. Pellaea, atropurpurea, purple stem cliffbrake. Not gonna get into it right now. Key features: Chilanthoides subfamily, lip fern subfamily, xeric fern subfamily. Unusual in the east, but this is the clade of fern that you're seeing broadly in the deserts. Gonna have those revolute enrolled margins, especially when it starts putting out its sorry to reproduce in that hairy black stem. Very cool fern. Look at this nice ridge or bluff. Bluff is the proper term of what probably looks like to you as landscaping greenery as ground cover. What this actually is a likely native population of Juniperus horizontalis. Kind of a nice indicator species. Would you say indicator species of like a bluff habitat?
Well, it occurs on a lot of bluffs.
Occurs on bluffs. Okay, I'll take it. Occurs on bluff habitats. More common, I don't know exactly how common, more common in like the coastal highlands of Maine. Unusual for Vermont. But look at this nice sea of it. Cyperaceae, a low spreading cuprossoid. Same genus as Juniperus virginiana, which is damn near weedy, but still a really cool native tree. Widely bred and introduced into horticulture and spread artificially around the region, but this would appear to be a nice native population. Likely holding a decent amount of this together, choking out, you know, anything from coming up underneath it. Would hate to see what this little bluff would look like without it growing here. That's quite nice. Look at this little ground cover, member of the redwood family. A nice healthy patch of ruta-muraria and more why did I Pellaea atropurpurea? Is that a brain fart? Yeah, that's a healthy looking patch though. That's nice. More columbine. Columbine everywhere up here. Another little Packera not yet out. Maianthemum stellatum. I've only seen this growing out of sand along the Connecticut River. That's still a really cool species though. Not the rarest thing in the world, but still fascinating to me.
Richardsonii. Oh, nice.
Oh, that would be the target species has been found and announced. So we're gonna mosey on over there. People are dumping freaking trash up here too, which is heartbreaking. Right there, that's what we came up here for. That's, oh, it's windy now. Carex richardsonii. Highly unusual in New England. Likes this. Nice hedge of Dasyphora right there. Fruticosa, if I'm not mistaken. Cool bushy member of the Potentili tribe, a cinquefoil, which I've seen growing in like beachheads, but never up in a mountain habitat like this. Get the Richardsonia there. So there he is. There's the seed head on the thing. Already went to bloom, but usually the seeds are what you go off of. And I believe if I can get in there really good, the little scales there are supposed to be particularly of interest there. Silvery margins to the scales. Oh yeah, look at that. They're beautiful up close. You should really appreciate your sedges. Don't be a square. Presumably that's where the anthers would have come out. These would have been the female flowers, going to ripen into akene like fruits. And maybe, just maybe, we can get a little bit more of it in the habitat. There's a Maianthemum stellatum actually in bloom there. One of my favorite Maianthemum. I like that more than racemosum and canadensis. Later. There you go. Here's your moment of zen. Hit everything I think we were supposed to see at this spot. Forgot to even mention this nice Adiantium pedatum. Been saying that name wrong for far too long. Beautiful little stream side. Looks like it was blocked up at one point. But we're going to cut it off there. That might be it. Might get one or two other places to shoot. But that'll basically be it for today. Take it easy, folks.